Welcome back to everyone on the Football Zone and to a weekend previewing the Premier League action that's coming up this weekend, starting off with Leicester against Man City. And yeah, really big game for both these sides. Man City once again faltering last time out. So yeah, needing a result. Leicester, I think, showed signs of promise against Liverpool, and you never know, they may even be targeting this game with Man City's current run of form, but they've got to pick up at some point, Man City, right? Yeah, Leicester not looking too good under Rooney recently, I have to say, so I'm going to say a 2-0 win for Man City. Moving on into Palace as they take on Southampton at Selhurst Park, and yeah, this is another interesting game. Palace coming into this one on a relatively decent run of form, I'd say. Decent point against Bournemouth on Boxing Day. But yeah, I mean, Southampton were positive signs in Djuric's first game since Martin's left, really, with that point at Fulham as well. But they need to start picking up results and fast. It's not going to be an easy game, this one at all. I think Palace probably will still have too much of them, but we need another good showing for them. Moving on into Everton against Nottingham Forest at Goodison Park, and yeah, this is another interesting game. Everton have proved themselves to be really hard to beat recently, but Nottingham Forest, we know what a great season they're having. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, this one that you feel could go really either way. If you know what I mean. Everton could really defend well and maybe pick a goal in the break, or Forest, with the quality they've got going forward, could blow them away. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, this one. I'm going to say it will end up in a draw. I'm going to say 1-1. Moving on into Fulham against Bournemouth at Craven Cottage, and yeah, this is an interesting game. Fulham, obviously, with that remarkable comeback win against Chelsea, and if they can back it up, that would mark a great week for them, undoubtedly. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one. Bournemouth coming into this one, obviously, on a pretty decent run of form, in all fairness, as well. So yeah, it could be a really enjoyable game to watch between two teams really doing well. I'm going to say it'll be a close game that will result in a 1-1 draw. Moving on into Tottenham as they take on Wolves at White Hart Lane, and yeah, Tottenham just struggling for results at the moment, aren't they? They need to start picking up some consistent results, and that's what they're struggling to do at the moment against the Wolves side, who have improved massively under Vitor Pereira. You'd still think this is a game at home that Tottenham will be confident that they're going to be winning this one, but yeah, you just don't know, do you? So I'm going to say that Tottenham will probably get the win. It's about time they get a win, so I'm going to say it will be 2-0 to Spurs. Moving on into West Ham against Liverpool at the London Stadium, and yeah, this is an interesting game coming up for sure. West Ham, the pressure's kind of growing on Lopetegui. They have picked up a few more improving results recently, so that should ease some, but I think it's still there with the way they're going in. But yeah, Liverpool coming into this one, I think we'll definitely be feeling confident that they'll have too much for West Ham here. I'm going to say 2-0 to LFC. Moving on into Aston Villa against Brighton at Villa Park, and yeah, this is an interesting game. Both these teams really, I would say, blowing a little hot and cold at the moment, really. On their day, they can be really, really good sides, but sometimes they just don't quite deliver. So it's one that you feel could go either way in terms of these two. And yeah, I think Villa and Brighton, I think they'll both fancy their chances coming into this one. But I'm going to say at home, Villa might just have a bit of an edge, and I'm going to say they'll just edge it by 2-1. Moving on into Ipswich against Chelsea at Portman Road, and yeah, this should be one of the great days for Ipswich. In League One, playing the likes of Shrewsbury 2 years ago, to playing Chelsea at home, and yeah, I think obviously Chelsea, they'll be obviously very, very keen to bounce back after that really, really disappointing result against Fulham, that late collapse, really, wasn't it? But Ipswich will relish an opportunity like this, but I think Chelsea on the day will just be too strong. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Chelsea. Moving on then to Manchester United as they take on Newcastle at Old Trafford, and yeah, this is an interesting one because Newcastle have been improving quite a bit recently, but Manchester United at home struggling at the moment under Ruben Amorim. You feel like their fortune's got to turn around. They've got to get a big win from somewhere, because at the moment it's just not clicking for Amorim's road. Obviously they did have that great Derby Day win, but that seems to be more down to the incompetence of Man City more than anything else, remarkably. But yeah, I'm going to say this one could end in a draw. I'll say 1-1. Moving on into Brentford as they take on Arsenal in the first game of the new year, and yeah, this is going to be an interesting game because Brentford, as we know, won't be an easy game at all for Arsenal, but it's one that they'll definitely be hoping and expecting that they'll win. to be honest, if they really want to stick in the title race, because, you know, Brentford are a good team, but let's face it, they're probably not one of the elite teams. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, this one, and one that I think Arsenal definitely would expect to win. I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal.
Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe for our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.